But of course, yesterday there was a big result involving Man City. Patty, a nice little
Harry
victory.
Kane,
A nice victory. Harry Kane doing Arsenal a favour. Talk to me, Patty.
You know what? I hate that this is the narrative now that he's done you lot a favour. We had to win the game for ourselves, especially after losing to Man City in the way that we did. That second half collapse, conceding 4 goals in 18 minutes. You know, it was a good payback essentially for that result, and we needed to. You know, Newcastle got a +1 on us. Man United won their game, so for us to keep up with the chasing pack, we had to win that game. I went into the game in a weird mood because obviously I want our team to win, but I knew that if we did lose, it's probably the best time to lose a game because of the implications that we have in City catching Arsenal. So I was a bit indifferent going into it, but I felt confident because...
Wait, you can't say that. You have to support your team.
I'm being honest.
That's crazy.
I'm always going to keep it 100. I'm always going to keep it 100. Of course, I wanted us to win the game, but if we did lose it, it's the best time to lose a game. Because
crazy.
It's the reality.
It's your team.
Thank you, Pat.
Most people will say, you know, if people are honest with themselves.
Patrick, did you want to lose it? Be honest.
I didn't want to lose the game because, like I said, we lost the first game, and also Man United won their game, and even Newcastle, they didn't lose the game, but they got a point. So obviously, for us, our objective, the minimum is top 4. So we need to keep up with the pack, and we're behind them. So yeah, man, when you look at the table now, it was a good result.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying. I felt to our man, we were fantastic. Emerson Royale, the best I've seen in a Spurs shirt. I couldn't believe the performance I saw from him.
Going forward, you're gonna defend Royal. No, defense is good, but
I'm
him going forward.
I'm just saying, like
let him have his moment.
When someone plays well, you got to give them their flowers because we're always quick to jump onto these guys, and he's had so many fuck ups in the Spurs shirt. Let's be honest. But when he's good, give him his credit or his praise. Eric Dyer as well. He's been atrocious this season, but to be fair, he was good yesterday. The fact that we weren't talking about him shows that he had a good game. So that's all I can ask. And obviously going forward, we looked dangerous on the counter. We also played. For me, I thought that the assistant coach was fantastic because he didn't let us sit behind the ball and just drop deep. We actually played quite a high line, which was quite surprising considering how good Haaland is on obviously running on behind, but they didn't really find him. They weren't looking for his runs. And we also did like a counter press where we had like Romero and even Eric Dyer harassing and hounding them as they got the ball, hence what Højbjerg did, which led to the goal. And then obviously the nice little slide through assist to Kane. Kane finishing with his first touch of the ball. And then, yeah, we were good, man. We had a lot of good chances. City are always going to be dangerous.
Can I just ask, what happened to Son?
Nothing. He had a decent game, man. We need to stop this narrative of what happened to Son. Son
Patrick,
played all
stop
right.
it. Let's be real. Stop it. Based on what we know Son can do.
Yeah, but he had a good game in it. Call it for what it is. I thought Son played really well. He was running at them, causing problems. And yeah, I mean, yeah, he
Patrick,
didn't
you're
score.
lying. See, you're lying. If you didn't have a really good game, you come on, really good game.
He had a good game, man. He caused them problems. He gave City something to think about. He was linking up with Kane. He was going forward doing stuff. Yeah, he didn't score. The thing is with Son, when he doesn't score assists, people get onto him, but that is his game.
No, but it's not about scoring assists. Like even when Son was on form, I don't know whether the last season or before. It's not even about him scoring or so forth. You would see how much issues he would cause opposition. Let's be real. The two attackers who were causing City the most issues was Kane and Kulusevski. Kulusevski has now taken up that role that Son used to take because Son simply isn't clicking and just isn't as effective as he once was.
He's not in form, but I don't think he had a bad game. I thought he was actually quite good, like in terms of he was decent. He caused them problems. He got even from like minute 1 or 2, he got the ball, made a good, amazing run, darting run, and gave City defenders something to think about. There was quite a few times when he was linking up well with Kane. Yeah, of course the numbers ain't great and he needs to score more goals. Ultimately, he's one of the best forwards in the league. He should be scoring. But I thought he was actually decent in that game. If you take that game for what it is and not add all the other games, I thought he was all right.
But Patrick, okay, when do you now admit that Pep gave you that game with his stupid formation?
Stop it.
Listen,
before you get there.
Of course, he gave him the game. He gave it the game.
Before you get there.
How much did he pay him? 50, 60?
You're jumping the gun. I want to touch on Spurs before we go into City. I just want to say this. Harry Kane, big up to him. He got his goals. He delivered again for Tottenham at home versus Manchester City. He seems to do that on a regular basis. He got his goal record also. First striker to get 200 Premier League goals on his in one club. I think that's quite impressive also. And he broke Tottenham's
How many
record.
trophies?
Yeah, how many trophies, please? How many trophies?
Hey, I'm not here to talk about the trophies. You know what I mean? I'm just here to talk about the fact that the guy gave a helping hand, showing that he's an Arsenal man through and through. And you got Kulusevski also putting in a man of the match performance, or not a man of the match, but a good performance.
Cooley played well. Yeah.
Tottenham overall showed me that they are actually clicked into gear versus City, and if we can see a replicated performance over the next coming weeks, they have an outside chance of getting back into the top 4 race.
Outside chance? We're 1 point behind Newcastle, mate.
There's
no outside chance.
Let
We're
me
getting top
compliment
4.
you without getting triggered.
Nah, there's
Let
no
me
outside
compliment
chance.
you. Why are you getting triggered? Let me give you a compliment.
Listen to the word that you
I can't
use,
give you a
outside
compliment.
chance. Like we're full
I can't give you a compliment.
Boy,
That's me giving you a compliment. You're not gonna get the whole cake. Let me give you a slice. Let me give you a slice, okay? And then talking about Patrick. Patrick, you're a shameless individual because before the North London derby, you said I want to beat them and then I want to lose to City. And you know what happened?
100%. I did say that.
You know what happened?
I
You know what happened? This season, Patrick, you guys have basically given us a 9-point swing against City. You've given us 6 points, plus you've taken 3 points off them. So that hands off to you. Thank you for that.
Listen, it will just have to go down to the City Arsenal games, won't it? It will just
it's not even banter to all Spurs fans. It's just to you because you sat there on Saeed's channel and you said, I want to lose. I want to give them 6 points and I want to take 3 from Arsenal. It happened the other way around.
Yeah,
so,
I know, and it's annoying. Yeah, exactly. And that was my thesis. I thought we would beat you guys at home because we always beat Arsenal at home. Obviously, I got that one completely wrong. And Arsenal deserved to beat us in that game. You're the much better team.
Thank you, bro.
So I thought we would get those 3 points. And then I was happy to concede the 6 points to City, knowing what it would do to you lot. But the fact that we lost to you lot, I was like, you know what? We have to win our games now. We lost the first game.
Can you say one thing for me? Do you think North London has ever been disconnected?
We weren't connected.
We did this.
I will never.
See, this is why I want Arsenal to not win the league because the guys.
I'm just trolling. Before people start saying I'm going overboard,
just messing up. I wanted to jump in though and say to the City fans on this game because we've got a lot of other subjects to get through tonight. But do you feel like not Klopp? Do you feel like Pep galaxy brained it a bit yesterday? Nobbins in terms of not starting KDB. Putting Lewis in at left back when Ake's been great there, leaving Diaz on the bench. You had a great opportunity to close that gap on Arsenal that had a bad weekend individually themselves. Do you feel like the manager got it wrong yesterday? Or is this just another one of these bad performances that I've been talking about to you for weeks now?
It's a hard one. I think it's easy to say in hindsight Pep got it wrong because if Rodri doesn't make the stupid error and if Mahrez's shot is just slightly under, maybe City go away with a 1-0 win, and we're all talking about how Pep big brained it and it was excellent. So I don't know if I'm going to say that Pep overthought it. I think that does get used a bit too much. Someone mentioned about Pep using
wingers.
Pardon?
He had no wing. The guy had no wingers, and nobody was feeding the ball into Haaland. Pep keeps on doing this. Come on, man, just be real. Pep, he gave Tottenham the game. How do you not start Gundogan or De Bruyne when you have a striker who is a plank of wood and who needs you to feed it? You gave the game to Tottenham.
This guy, man, Lukaku tax, isn't it? Okay.
So I was actually quite. I was quite happy with the team selection, to be honest. Really? I wanted Alvarez to start. Someone mentioned earlier we played a different formation. We didn't. It's the same formation we played for months now, the 3-2-5 in possession. The only difference was Rico Lewis was played at left back out of possession rather than right back, but in possession he plays in central midfield, so it's largely irrelevant. For me, the issue wasn't about system or formation. The issue was about not utilising it properly. It was utilised properly, brilliantly, I thought, in the second half against Spurs, when we played more direct. And we played the balls quickly into Haaland, and Haaland would either win them or the second ball would bounce off him. And that's why I wanted Alvarez to start the game yesterday, because he was perfect against Spurs at latching onto those second balls and being a willing runner in behind Haaland. That didn't happen. I don't know why. So many occasions Haaland made a brilliant run and he just wasn't found. City choosing to not be direct in moments where they need to be direct. So didn't help that Rodri had a terrible game. He was at fault for the goal. He was at fault in build-up as well. Terrible.
Yeah.
Alvarez was poor as well. But I didn't disagree with the premise of not starting De Bruyne because I don't think De Bruyne played against Spurs in the other game where
No,
we
he
were.
didn't. He
Yeah,
didn't even get on the pitch.
He didn't at all. He was on the bench.
Exactly.
He's
So-
an industry plant.
So I think
Calm down.
I think a lot is being made of you didn't play De Bruyne, but we didn't play De Bruyne in the second half and scored 4 goals. The issue was just the not implementing a more direct approach when the game was clearly gagging for it when you're up against Spurs and all they're going to do is get behind the ball. You've got to be more direct and be braver.
Sorry, can I just ask a question just to the City fans? Do you think Haaland is a Pep player? Do you think Haaland causes issues for how Pep wants to play?
No, definitely not. This man scored 31 goals. His numbers speak for himself, to be honest. The issues at City this season, if you go look at the points City have dropped this season, it's got nothing to do with, City aren't playing a false 9, so therefore they're giving away the ball all the time midfield because it's not an option. No, the midfield has just been really bad this season. Rodri keeps making really weird mistakes. De Bruyne keeps making really weird mistakes. Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, Alvarez recently. The midfield is just disjointed, and it's got nothing to do with the presence of Haaland. It's to do with these players can't make a simple 5-yard pass sometimes. Haaland's presence is nothing to do with that. And we even saw against Spurs how he was dropping deep and receiving the ball quite well. So yeah, I don't buy the whole Haaland's changed City for the worse sort of thing.
It's an easy cop-out, to be honest with you, because a lot of rival fans, you guys are funny. The thing about it is we all watch each other, and I watch most of you guys, believe it, is it Terry, everyone. I watch everyone in the YouTube channels. Things change. When Haaland is on fire, some fans are like, yeah, oh my God, this guy's incredible. How can he do this? But when Haaland just gets quiet, it's Haaland's fault. But if you look at Haaland right now, and you look at the team, he makes runs. Like even Egao, if you watch the match with Spurs, he made runs, even Alvarez did. And Bernardo Silva decided to dribble. And you're open to give the ball. It's just that something is not clicking, and it's not has to do with Haaland. Because without Haaland, I don't even think we would have been in this position. Because some of the players that are the big players are not playing well. They're not playing well.
I tweeted yesterday. He hasn't scored away from home against any of the big teams, any of the top 6 yet. And I said we've got to start a dialogue. But I want to start the dialogue because I want to see how many people, for me, do like the basic bitch analysis and go, well, Haaland ain't scored, therefore he's the problem. But you just took the words out of my mouth, Patrick. There was 3 runs in the first half where a quick first-time direct ball, by the way, a Bruno Fernandes would play it every single time, and Haaland's running through on goal. And we spoke about this yesterday in the match review. If you switch Haaland and Harry Kane around, switch them on teams yesterday, Haaland in that Spurs team yesterday would score 3 or 4 goals because he has more speed than Harry Kane. He'd have just, the amount of times he would have run through, that ball would have been played through to him. City have got to start playing that ball a little bit earlier. And that's something Pep's got to get his team to adapt to. The second element is if Haaland isn't scoring, who else is stepping up? In years gone by, you had Raheem, Gundogan, Silva, Mahrez, Aguero. You had multiple match winners in that team. Now it's almost, well, if Haaland doesn't score, no one else is stepping up. They've got no midfield player this year that's like killing it outside of KDB, who I think's been good. Obviously, Mahrez had a little resurgence so far this year, but he was awful in the first half of the season. And then we know who's on the left-hand side. I've said it before. You've got Luke Chadwick out on the left, who
City's best player yesterday. City's best player yesterday.
And City fans, defensively, was good yesterday, but City fans do this all the time. They're going to defend him, how Liverpool fans on the Terrace defended Firmino. But look at all the other things. He carries the ball well. He holds it up. He tracks back. That's a prerequisite. Does he do... If Haaland ain't scoring, how often is Jack Grealish stepping up and doing his job by creating the big chances and or scoring the goals? He isn't doing it, and that's his job. His job is to create. This notion of, actually, what he does, he sits in a pocket really far out on the left-hand side, looking pretty, having his socks down low, and it creates a space for Haaland to score.
And gets fouled.
Job. For me, that I guarantee you Pep Guardiola wouldn't say that. Pep Guardiola doesn't sit down and go, Jack, you don't need to deliver shit all, bruv. Just sit out on the left and make a bit of space for Haaland. There's no way he says that. There's no way he says it. Luke Chadwick, 100 million pound Luke Chadwick, better looking version is a problem for you. The same as this year, Gundogan and Silva. They're all problems for you because they're just for one reason or another not delivering enough game-changing moments. They're not having enough individual moments of brilliance, and you're relying on Haaland. And the irony is, football fans do this. They're attacking Haaland for it. Man United went through this. The only guy that was delivering for about 18 months was Bruno. And then he'd have a game where he didn't perform, and it's, Bruno let you down.
Ronaldo.
Well, forget Ronaldo. I'm talking Bruno. Like, Bruno would be brilliant every game. One game he wouldn't score. I think Bruno's the problem. No, everyone else that doesn't deliver, every game is the problem here. Look at Arsenal. Arsenal, a prime example. Arsenal don't have an individual player this year that you'd say is the best in the league, been the best this season in the league in his position. Maybe Partey, but from an attacking point of view, Saka's not the best winger this year. Rashford is. The best striker this year has been Haaland. Who's been the best attacking midfielder? You could probably argue Odegaard, but not on numbers. Numbers, KDB.
Yes, on numbers. He has been the best numbers.
No, KDB's got 11 assists.
KDB is still up above him, having the best
And probably scoring goals.
I'm talking numbers here, right? From a creative point of view. But the difference is, Nketiah, Jesus, Saka, Martinelli, and Odegaard are all delivering, like, week in, week out collectively. That's more dangerous than one guy in your team who's on goal scoring or creative form. And that's a big problem at Man City right now, I personally think.